Canadian farmers of milk, eggs, and poultry plan their production so as to avoid surpluses and respect the demands of the consumers with high-quality local products. Imports fill part of the needs, but their quantity is supervised. Family farms can prosper in this market without government subsidies, thanks to the agricultural policy called supply management. Supply management balances supply and demand, ensures a fair revenue without subsidies and an honest balance of power, brings on price inflation. Spot the error.
The basic principle of supply management is to produce enough to fulfill market demand. It's not market rationing. We only produce the quantity of milk that's needed on the Canadian market. We know how much we can produce, and that creates a balance between supply and demand. No milk is produced at a loss than exported at a lesser price than it costs to produce.
Protecting your agriculture is not something limited to Canada or supply management. Every country seeks to protect this sector because it's an essential one.
It prevents the government from interfering regularly to rescue farmers at the last second because of unexpected circumstances affecting the market. So it's illusory to think that agriculture could become, for example, a completely unregulated market. Policies such as supply management allows farmers to go fetch remuneration for their products directly on the market. For the consumer, it's an advantage since he only pays once. Supply management costs absolutely zero to the taxpayer, contrary to other regions where, when there's ad hoc help, the latest crisis in the States, for example, there's $1 billion paid to the American dairy farmers. That billion comes from the taxpayers' pockets. One must understand that the processing sector is clearly more concentrated than the production sector. For the processor, losing 1 out of 5,000 suppliers is nothing. For the farmer, losing a buyer has a hefty price. For a regional business like ours, supply management remains important. Because if we're gone, negotiations would take place between AgriPure, Saputo, and the big dairy farmers. And regional farmers would probably be left in the lurch and at the mercy of price fluctuations.
When we compare dairy product prices in Canada and other countries, we see lower prices in certain places and higher prices in others. We just have to look at New Zealand, which for some is the kingdom of deregulation, but where the retail price of everyday milk is higher than what we can find here on our shelves in Canada.
Look at the Consumer Price Index in the United States. It's fascinating how prices can vary up to 50% in just a 2 or 3 month period. In different Canadian provinces, say Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes, we've got the exact same system of price regulation in the dairy market. Same prices for farmers, same prices for processors, same quota system. And when we look at the retail price of consumer milk in Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes, there can be a 20–30% gap for the same liter of milk. We're in the same regulation system, so something else is going on. There's the intermediaries, there's market logic. We can't pin price fluctuation from one province to another on supply management. So we also can't say supply management is solely responsible for the price variation of consumer goods with other countries. In other countries where it was abandoned, consumers are mostly the poorer for it. Surpluses stay in the coffers of the businesses. They don't necessarily trickle down to the consumers, and the farmers are poorer than they've ever been.
So, it's an error to state that supply management brings on price inflation. Supply management in Quebec is 7,288 family farms, 42% of agricultural revenues, a $7.19 billion contribution to the GDP, and 81,971 jobs.